Nice spare!
Welcome to Watch Mojo. We're turning 20 this year, and as part of an ode to 2006, we're counting down the most memorable video games that turned 20 this year too. Number 20, Sonic Riders.
Ha! You're lucky you got this far. It obviously wasn't due to your skills.
I won't lose now.
For a franchise with the motto, gotta go fast, it's kind of amazing this was one of its very first true racing games. Luckily, it revved up with plenty of style. Rather than a run-of-the-mill mascot kart racer, Sonic Riders introduced extreme gear. Think of them like a mix between a hoverboard and a skateboard. It provided a surprisingly deep racing experience that prioritized tight turns and intense resource management. Riders wasn't just a game, it was a whole aesthetic, one the franchise has been returning to as recently as 2025's Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Talk about a legacy.
But enough of this friendly banter, Sonic. You better make sure you're ready when we meet face to face once again.
You bet.
Number 19, Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Island.
That sounds like
It wasn't me!
Squidward!
So what do you get when you cross SpongeBob SquarePants, Danny Phantom, and the Fairly OddParents together? An eruption of fun, that's what. While not the first time our favorite Nickelodeon characters crossed paths, and far from the last, Volcano Island was certainly one of the most memorable. The plot is bonkers in the best way possible, and the gameplay is admittedly janky, but the characters are what matter, and they're all in top form here, especially since most are voiced by their original actors. I mean, what can we say? Even decades later, the charm of seeing Nicktoons unite is just impossible to pass up.
This isn't over, chosen ones!
Number 18, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Blue Rescue Team, and Red Rescue Team. Just listening to this title theme is enough to send us back to simpler times. As the best-selling and longest-running Pokemon spin-off, it's no surprise the original Mystery Dungeon installments are revered to this day. They offered a distinctly different experience from those who just want to catch them all. Here, you were a Pokemon tasked with exploring randomly generated dungeons and engaging it in a surprising, thoughtful story. But if that wasn't your thing either, you couldn't go wrong drawing endless circles in Pokemon Ranger. No matter what, 2006 was a good time to be a Pokemon fan. Number 17, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2.
Fine!
Oh, there you are!
A sequel to one of the greatest arena fighters of all time, and it's got Dragon Ball. With all that, it's safe to say no gamer's collection was complete without Budokai Tenkaichi 2. It had everything the first game did, but more of it. More characters, more game modes, and more fun than ever before. In fact, we'd go so far as saying that, in all of gaming, few series personify the joy of smashing action figures together quite like Budokai Tenkaichi. It's easy to see why, years later, Dragon Ball fans are still chasing the high of these games.
This fighting copies of yourself business is pretty weird.
How the heck did I get stuck with all this anyway?
Number 16, Mortal Kombat Armageddon. While we're on the topic of arena fighters, we'd be remiss not to mention one of the biggest releases in fighting game history. That's really no hyperbole here. As the conclusion of the original Mortal Kombat story, Armageddon's ridiculous 62 character roster includes just about every single fighter that you could ever want. But if that somehow isn't enough, there are 2 slots for player creator characters as well, and you could even create your own fatalities. There's really no way to overstate what an achievement that was back in 2006. Heck, even by today's standards, Armageddon remains the gold standard for the series. Number 15, LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. The galaxy far, far away has never been so much fun. Whether it was collecting every item, unlocking its ginormous roster of characters, or just simply messing around in co-op, LEGO Star Wars 2 was guaranteed to be a riot. But you probably already know that. These days, most everyone buying a LEGO game knows they're in for a delightful reinvention of their favorite series. While this sequel definitely rode the hype of the first title, it's strange to consider the LEGO games were still a sort of relatively unknown commodity back then. That is, until the original trilogy proved the first one wasn't a fluke, and neither was its sequel for that matter. Number 14, Call of Duty 3. As they say, third time's the charm. Although coming off 2 juggernaut releases, Call of Duty 3 is iconic on precedent alone. Some may argue it didn't push the series forward, but to that we say it was more Call of Duty. The same gripping first-person action, with some enhanced vehicular combat and environmental destruction thrown in. Plus, the sprawling narrative and refined gameplay laid the framework for what the series would become. Much of what Call of Duty is today is actually owed to what the team learned on this game. For something made on an extremely tight production schedule, that's pretty darn impressive. Number 13, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Long before the MCU propelled the brand into the mainstream, Activision showed gamers what a real comic book crossover looked like. Marvel Ultimate Alliance truly has everything a fan could want. You can thwip around as Spider-Man, incinerate enemies as Johnny Storm, or shred through mobs as you embrace your inner Wolverine. Every character was unique, fun, and perfectly brought to life here, to say nothing of its lengthy, ambitious story mode. Thanks to the success of a certain cinematic universe, Ultimate Alliance hasn't just aged well, it's arguably more fun today than it actually was at launch. So if you haven't assembled these Avengers yet, here is your official call to action.
Excuse me, is this the ferry to Staten Island?
Number 12, NBA 2K7.
1:14 left in the third quarter. Williams shoots it, hits the free throw line J.
With this entry, 2K Sports stopped playing defense and went straight for the championship. For one, it had a broadcast quality presentation that made you feel closer to the court than ever before. Secondly, the association mode was a full-blown franchise experience, letting players live out their front office fantasies. And the third, well, it had Shaq himself on the cover. Sure, the gameplay was smoother and all that, but really, Shaq is what seals the deal for us at least. Okay, jokes aside, it feels like this is where the virtual hoops went from a fun pastime into an annual must-play.
To the elbow, Amari shoots it up, misses.
Number 11, Okami. Although it technically hit store shelves in 2006, being one of the final AAA games released on the PS2 didn't do a lot for Okami's launch sales. Thankfully, Capcom saw the good reviews and have ported it to several modern platforms in the years since. Nowadays, it's rightfully regarded as one of the greatest games ever made. Everything from its gripping gameplay to its striking art style is top-notch here. It's just a shame that it took so long for Okami to finally get its due. At the very least though, it can take solace that people are still singing its praises some 20 years later. Number 10, Company of Heroes. Real-time strategy games are split into two, the ones before Company of Heroes and the ones after. Trading, base building, busy work for intense cover-based combat, it made every decision feel like the life or death on the battlefield. There was innovative resource management, squad-based tactics, destructible environments, and so much more. By now, its legacy of course speaks for itself. It spawned a beloved franchise, maintained a dedicated multiplayer community for years, and proved that World War II gaming still had places to grow. So whenever you play an RTS game today, just know that you have Company of Heroes to thank for it.
We have to silence that anti-aircraft gun. Let's move out.
Number 9, New Super Mario Bros. Mario spent a good chunk of the 2000s embracing the third dimension, so in 2006, his grand return to both handhelds and 2D was exactly what the doctor ordered. Introducing the new Super Mario Bros. Naming scheme, this DS game proved to be a brilliant return to form for the franchise. It took advantage of the handheld's distinct mechanics to deliver creative and exciting experiences. It wasn't just a new Mario platformer, it was one of the very best in the plumber's long and acclaimed history. The fact it spawned a whole new sub-series is proof enough of its success. Number 8. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. With the arrival of Tom Clancy in 2006, gaming defined what next-gen warfare could look like. Stunning visuals, tactical gameplay, and a revolutionary cross-comm system were just some of the innovations Ghost Recon brought to the table. It was such a smashing success, its rivals in the genre couldn't help but take notice. For a while, it felt like the entire shooter industry was either emulating Tom Clancy or actively avoiding it. You could argue it's still happening today. With one title, publisher Ubisoft proved the shooter genre wasn't out of ammo just yet. Number 7. Cooking Mama. Every chef has their first day in the kitchen, but not every chef earns 5 Michelin stars like this one did. The recipe here is deceptively simple. You start with a heaping portion of the DS's touchscreen, add in a dash of minigames, a spoonful of cartoony menus, and mix it all together with a flavorful gameplay loop. So just like that, Cooking Mama was a dish that actually came out perfectly. Now, it didn't go crazy with spice or seasoning, it was just a cozy, simple recipe that was bound to fill you up before bed or before some long car rides. And somehow it hasn't gotten stale yet. Number 6. Final Fantasy XII.
I give you your new consul, His Imperial Highness Lord Vane Solidor, Commandant of the Arcadian Empire's Western on... Your Excellency.
Both a black sheep and a beloved classic, this 12th foray into the fantasy series was the series' biggest gambit yet, mostly because of a combat mechanic called, well, Gambit. By removing random encounters and adding more real-time strategy to the combat, Final Fantasy XII reinvented the series at its core. In a lesser title, it could have gone horribly wrong, but against all odds, it was a slam dunk here. It iterated on the best parts of Final Fantasy while maintaining the spirit diehards had come to expect. It was bold, it was fun, and it remains a refreshing high point in a series with no shortage of amazing titles. Number 5. Wii Sports. Hitting the perfect balance between skill, accessibility, and pure fun, there may never be a console tie-in as perfect as Wii Sports. Its intuitive motion controls made it one of the easiest games to pick up and play, maybe ever. The simplicity was just part of its charm. You could spend hours customizing your Mii, challenging your friends, or just jamming out to its iconic menu music. It's all the more impressive since Wii Sports could have so easily been a lazy advertisement for its namesake console. Instead, it's fondly remembered to this day as something gamers, newbies, and families alike could all bond over. Number 4. Guitar Hero 2. Is there anything more quintessentially 2000s than jamming out to a rock song on a plastic guitar? Now, we don't say that lightly. Guitar Hero genuinely feels like it defined a generation. You either played it or you wish you did. In 2006, the novelty of getting an actual instrument with your game hadn't worn off yet. Although it definitely helped that Guitar Hero 2 upped the ante with more songs and note combinations, it was a rocking sequel to an already amazing game, and turned the series from a one-hit wonder to a bona fide Hall of Famer. Number 3. The Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion.
Let me see your face. You are the one from my dreams. Then the stars were right. This is the day.
Open worlds don't get any better than this. For the first time, players could truly do whatever they wanted. If you weren't interested in the main campaign, consider it gone. If there's a mountain in the distance, you can head straight there. On top of a dizzying amount of gear, looting, and social systems, it's insane to think Oblivion fit onto one disc back in 2006. Of course, it came with a litany of bugs and glitches, but over the years, the community has embraced them as part of the Oblivion experience. After all, despite its issues, you'd be hard-pressed to find a better open-world experience, well, ever. Number 2, Gears of War.
What do you think? What do I think? It could be Alpha, or it could be the Locust setting a trap. There's only one way to know for sure.
Halo, step aside. With Gears of War, there was a new shooter franchise in town, and it was putting the pedal to the metal. This brutal, adrenaline-fueled masterpiece didn't just showcase Unreal Engine 3's graphical power, it weaponized it. Gears of War made you feel like you really lived in the dark, Locust-overrun world. Combined with systems like its active reload and cover-based combat, each exchange was sure to get your pulse racing. The franchise has rightfully continued on long beyond this debut, and inspired tons of ripoffs and even copycats, but nothing quite beats the original.
That was satisfying.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Here it is, the grand, sweeping Zelda epic that proved bigger could absolutely be better. The scale of Twilight Princess, both in its dungeons and story, elevated the series to a peak fans had really only dreamt about. At a time when most Nintendo titles were trying something new, this one doubled down on its core gameplay, delivering some of the best Zelda controls to date. Now, that's not to say it rested on its laurels, not at all. The wolf mechanics added some much needed variety, and Midna is easily one of the franchise's greatest companions. Add Twilight Princess to the growing pile of reasons Zelda is gaming royalty forevermore. So, what's your favorite 2006 title? Did it make our list? Be sure to let us know in the comments below.